Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Neharka Bhatnagar, and I'm with you with the area of JAIIB AFM. Okay, so we were continuing with the area of basics of management. I am taking it further. I hope I'm audible as well as clearly visible. Chali. So let's continue further. We were talking about this topic now, the basics of accounting. This is the first question. That is, what is the primary purpose of record keeping or bookkeeping in the accounting? Is it to maximize the profit or to ascertain the financial position or to facilitate the decision making or systematically record business transactions? See, bookkeeping is not that wide, I would say. This is not something that broad or that bigger in terms of scope that it is covering multiple things. It can be just related to one thing, that is to record a few things, right? It cannot be more than that. Bookkeeping doesn't analyze, it doesn't summarize, it doesn't do any of those things. It just records things systematically so that we can understand the books of accounts, right? So in this case, the correct answer is to maximize the profit. No, in bookkeeping, you cannot increase the profit to ascertain the financial position, not even exactly that. They are just into recording. Then to facilitate the decision making, you cannot help in decision making at all till the time you are not doing something where you are thinking about it. Again, you are just plain recording. That is to systematically record the business transaction. So that is the point that I'm talking about. D matches with what we have, right? Let's continue further. Which financial statements helps in determining the profit or the loss of the business during a specific period? Balance sheet, income statement, trading and P&L, or cash flow? The financial statement which is helping at one point of time, right? Financial statement which is helpful at one point of time itself. What would it be? Balance sheet, in terms of that is to profit and loss account. Not talking about the net worth of the organization. We talked about it yesterday even. The financial statements of an organization can be divided into three parts. This is something which I've covered in the paid class as well. So if you have reviewed the paid class, then it's cool. If you haven't, then please go ahead and check it out. That would be number one is balance sheet. The balance sheet talks about the net worth. Then comes profit and loss account, which is basically profit and loss account talks about whether the organization is making a profit or a loss, right? So this talks about business performance, and net worth talks about business position. Along with this, they make the statement of changes in equity or cash flow statement. Both of these are prepared. With the higher organizations where they have multiple shareholders, they need, excuse me, statement of changes in equity. This is required in bigger companies where they have a lot of shareholders, and especially in public companies where it keeps on changing. So they have to keep an eye on the number of people who are there as a shareholder. Then the last one is after these three, the fourth one is cash flow statement. So the cash flow statement is all about the inflow and outflow of cash. So when we talk about profit and loss, the name is written here itself, right? The trading and profit and loss account. Acha, then what's the difference between trading and profit and loss account and income and expenditure account, right? So if you're looking at the entire question, you should always look at the other options as well. Income and expenditure account also seems similar. That's because income and expenditure account is prepared in NPOs or NGOs, not for profit organizations, also called Section 8 companies under Companies Act 2013. Right? So, in this case, the correct answer is C, and B is for NPOs. They also prepare the profit and loss, but the point is they are not after money. They're not trying to develop something out of that. So basically, they are not called business oriented organizations. They're just working for it so that they can generate enough and so that they can donate it further or utilize it in their trust itself, right? So in this case, that is why that is not called income and that is not called profit and loss account. They're not making any profit, they're not making any losses. Okay, so let's move on further. It is, how do the financial statements act as a barometer of a financial health? Barometer. We talked about it in the previous class, even, है ना? When we talk about the financial statements which act as a barometer, it by analyzing the profits, by examining the assets and liabilities, by evaluating the decision making process, or by predicting the cash flows. How do you do that? Basically, financial statements can be called as a barometer because it checks on the financial position, financial performance of the organization. See, if I'm noting down everything now, then I would be rechecking it. I would be noting it down, and then I'll be noting it down. So it'll be more vigilant about the things, you know. So by it doesn't really predict the cash flows. It doesn't really evaluate the decision making process, or by examining the assets and liabilities, or by analyzing profits. When we talk about the financial statements now, they help you to understand the overall the organization's all the assets, all the liabilities. Matlab, what do you have? For example, if I look at the balance sheet, I can tell you कि देखिए, the organization has good money. It is having this much of assets, this much of liabilities. This is the capital which is invested in them, and I believe the organization is making good money. You know, so how do you prove it? Sometimes the bankers are going to come to you and say, Ki, Hanji, I don't find this organization earning a lot. So what do? They say, nahi, nahi, the organization earns a lot. Then show it to us. So when you have to show it, then we'll have to show the books of accounts. So it would be B. What role do the financial statements play in rational decision making for a business? They provide legal information, they provide guidelines for employee management, they supply financial information for decision making, or they determine taxation procedure. What role do financial statements play in rational decision making? Acha, rational decision making means when we are looking forward towards making some um, collaborations, when we are trying to understand what exactly the organization looks like, what are we looking forward towards the organization. Basically, now, rational would be if the organization is thinking about, say, increasing its work, it is thinking to increase its operations. Everybody looks forward to it, you know. So when they're trying to use it, so what would be the point in this case? The point is when you look at the books of accounts, they are they supply the financial information. Legal information, basically it is now legal even. This is a requirement of the law कि देखिए you have to prepare your books of accounts. But this preparation maintenance is limited to only certain organizations for which it is compulsory. For rest, it is not compulsory. So they are just preparing it for the sake of it that they need loans. You know, you need loans, you will have to pay it. That is one of the things there. So the answer is this, they supply financial information for decision making. Then, what is the origin of accounting as a social study according to the historical perspective? Acha, in the historical perspective, it was really interesting. As per the historical perspective, it was given by a particular person called Luca Bartolomeo de Piccioli, who was basically an Italian. He started in 1494 AD. And matlab, every book has given it its name in a different way. So in our book, it is given as Luca Bartolomeus. So basically, there are different names by which the particular person is known as. He's also known as Friar Luca. So basically, there are different names given to him. So he started it back in 1494. At that point of time, the concept of accounting was a little different, I would say. It has not changed over the period of time. It has just been modified. There is nothing called change. We can change the format, but the concept is still the same. The development of large scale businesses in the 1494 80 1500, there was nothing called large scale business, at least in the European and American area. The industrialization started coming in this area, but not really. They were looking forward to it, but I think if I look at it, then after 16th 17th AD, they had it, the particular industrialization took in terms of mechanization manner, no? That happened way after. So the advent of joint stock companies, joint stock companies are basically companies which combine together and they're working well, right? They are just individual corporations which are generating their funds. Then the use of money even under the barter system or the introduction of double entry bookkeeping. When we look at the social study, social means people are talking to each other, people are working with each other. That is the use of money even when under the barter system. Basically, now, when we talk about social study, it is basically related to this, the use of money even under the barter system. Basically, now they started preparing a financial statements, and yes, now you can even record the point of how do you pay it off. Did you pay it through the goods or something, or did you pay it through the cash? So basically, these kind of things are now recorded in terms of book of accounting. So there are no chances of any kind of frauds and manipulations till the time people don't do it directly. The books of accounts do not have any kind of I would say that kind of limitation here. We cannot show it at all. There is a way of showing it. Chaliye. Now the next question is in context with the historical evolution. We're talking about the historical evolution in this case. If we look at the historical evolution, the what is the fundamental concept of stewardship accounting? So stewardship accounting was, do you know, when in the era of the landlords, in the era of Europe, they used to have a particular person called steward. Steward used to maintain the land revenues of the landowners of those areas. So in European area, you would always find that these kind of things existed. You know, people had extremely big lands, but how will he remember what kind of things he had, and how will he remember what kind of land he had, and again, what income he was making out of it? So he kept a trustworthy person. I'm sorry, that trustworthy person was called steward. So that is how the stewardship, the first type of accounting which came into the light. So stewardship accounting is basically managing financial debts, orderly recording the business transactions, annual income statements or liability of the shareholders. When we talk about the stewardship accounting is limited only to recording about their businesses. At that point of time, it was about the landowners and their revenues. So this is how the historical perspective of stewardship accounting started. Stewards is basically linked with the word trust. So they trusted these accountants. Whatever they are doing it honestly. They're not making any kind of money out of it, while they could. Because ultimately, if you're giving the cat to take care of the milk and matlab to leave it there with the cat so that there is nothing happening. But the point is, cat loves milk. Human loves cash. Everybody's in need of that. That is why if you'll see the cashier and the bookkeeping person are two different persons. So basically, either they will all have both have to come up and manipulate the books of accounts, or what will happen is if both of them are not manipulating it, then one of them, if wants to try, it will not get the partnership of the other person. So definitely for the organization and the people, it can be something where they have to think about it thoroughly. What are we going to do about it? You know? So basically, stewardship accounting was a little risky in this case. Oops. Okay. Here comes the next question that you want. What was the Italian method known as during the 15th century, which forms the basis of modern systematic recording of the business transactions? Financial accounting, joint stock companies, double entry bookkeeping, or stewardship accounting? Stewardship accounting was prevalent in terms of Europa. But when we talk about this area, there is in the 15th century, what was developed, that was area of double entry bookkeeping. According to him, that is Mr. Fray Luca or Luca Bartolomeo de Piccioli. According to Luca, the double entry bookkeeping was like there for everything we have two aspects. What do you mean by two aspects? They said if you buy something, you also pay for that. There is nothing for free for a business. Even if when it is doing any kind of donation, then even it's expecting something from the people. Yeah, I would be having a goodwill, that kind of thing. So double entry bookkeeping can be related to the area of the organization maintaining its books of accounts. And when they're maintaining the books of accounts, they would like to know that what is happening. They said that if you buy, for example, I buy my phone. If I've bought my phone, then I've definitely paid money for that as well. So basically, when you buy something, you will have to give money for that as well. That is a part of double entry bookkeeping. That means for one thing that you buy, you will have to give money as well. So that is everything has two aspects, double entry bookkeeping. Next question. The question says during which phase of accounting evolution did financial evolution did during which phase of accounting evolution did the financial accounting emerge as a response to the large scale business and development of joint stock companies? Joint stock companies did a part of the stewardship accounting, financial cost, or joint stock. These are bigger companies. Joint stock companies are huge companies which are working in this area. So when we talk about joint stock companies, na, they came up when the portion of stewardship was actually over. Stewardship was basically landowners. So then financial accounting was the area where they started working in this way. Then came the manufacturing. That means huge manufacturing was done. That was a time of cost accounting. Because you want to know what does a manufacturer do. You know, that would be covered here. The answer is financial accounting. Okay, so what next do we have? The next point that we have is, what legal form does the doctrine of stewardship take in the operations of a company as per the information provided? Stewardship is basically maintaining the books of accounts, annual income statement, balance sheet, disclosure, or Companies Act. It has actually taken a form of Companies Act. What is the format in which we are with the where the companies are going to show their books of accounts? That all is covered there only. Okay. So it is covered in the Companies Act. चलिए, I hope you have reviewed our books of our um, website as well, right? If you look forward towards a JIB in a May 2024 attempt, the batch has just started. So if you would like to go for it, it has just started yesterday. First day, Monday was basically the orientation day. The batch started on Tuesday. So where you can work upon the preparation for this examination. As you know now, they're making the examination tougher and tougher every single day. So we should not be waiting when the examination becomes extremely difficult and we'll have to sit down for a good amount of time, because currently we are studying and we can actually continue our work as well. I've seen many bankers who are going to the offices and still finishing off their syllabuses in a proper manner, right? So what you can do is you can check out the area of JIB and CIB there. Open up the area of JIB May 2024, or the better option is to open up the JIB CIB Mahapack. Look at this, double validity is going on. You spend around 10,499. You can use the code Y541 and you will be able to get a discount of 41,996 and you will get it for 10,499. This is 81% discount currently. If you use our app, then you will get 81% discount there. So if you're looking forward to it, then check it out. On our website and our app for further details. What is Mahapack now? If I talk about the Mahapack, in Mahapack you will get the live classes, you will also get the test series, you will also get ebooks, you will also get previous English medium, previous bilingual, current English medium, and the upcoming till the time you have the validity, whatever batches are coming up, revision batch, numerical batch, test series, then we have the regular batches, anything that is coming up, the mini marathons, mega marathons, whatever we are coming up with, everything would be available to you. You just have to pay once and then you don't have to pay again at all for the next whatever time period you have taken the particular course. Then for the entire period, you will get all the relevant data in this area itself. So kindly check it out on our website and our app for further details, everyone. And hurry up, buy it as early as possible before the double validity ends, and use the code Y541. Other than the Mahapack, we have other areas as well. You can check out our JIB Mahapack individually as well, or you can take up the course of entire JIB, or you can individually take the subject as well. That depends upon you what you're looking forward to. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll be meeting tomorrow.